Hey everybody, sorry for the delay. My operations guy, his little girl took a fall today and he had to take her to the ER, so we're running a little behind. We didn't even set up the camera, nothing like that, so I'm going straight live from my phone again. But I got high speed data, so we're good. I got everything worked out, so there shouldn't be any pauses in today. Anyways, I'm Frank Moses, I'm with You Are Not Alone. This week's topic is on depression. Depression is a big spectrum. It's a lot to do with what I have to talk about. In a lot of ways, it talks about things I've already talked about as far as bullying, self-esteem, and I have a list of topics that I'm going to be talking about, and they're all going to tie into depression. Today's topic, as far as depression, is kind of just like an intro, broad spectrum of things. A little bit about my life, the depression I went through, some things I'm still battling with because I'm still not out of that. I'm not out of depression. I still have depression in a lot of ways. I think we all do. We just learn how to overcome some of the things, learn how to comfort each other, comfort our problems. And that's kind of like my broad spectrum on depression. It's not something that I think we ever get through. I think it's something that we manage. It's something that we learn to deal with, we learn to live with. Tonight, I want to start off by saying to my Bellevue friends, we had another loss out of Bellevue, Caleb Oni. I went to school with him around the same time. I didn't know him personally, but my thoughts, my prayers are with my friends and the Oni family. I've only seen good things, good posts about him. My heart breaks, and I just want everybody to know my condolences are with you. As far as depression, it started at a young age with me, like it does a lot of people. Kind of going back to the bullying thing, it started when I was getting bullied. I was getting picked on. Not having money, not having these things, you kind of get picked on. You kind of look down on yourself. And at a young age, it's a real thing. We don't really see it that way, but it is real, even in our younger generations. That in my life, it was real at that time. Like I said, I didn't have money, didn't have like all these elaborate things. I would get picked on. My appearance, my whole life growing up till probably about 5 years ago, real tall, still am tall, real tall. I had long shaggy hair, down to like this. I was real skinny. People would pick on me about it. I never felt good enough. You always just don't seem like you're doing the right things. You don't feel good enough. You don't know if you're doing the right things, if people think you're cool, whether they're not, you know what I mean? So that kind of starts playing in our heads, not feeling good enough. A big thing with me is wondering if I'm doing the right things, if I'm making my parents proud. I love my parents to death, but in a lot of ways I always wondered if I was making them proud. I never knew. I didn't have that kind of lifestyle a lot of people have growing up. That'll be something I talk about in another topic. But as far as that growing up, I always wondered if I was making my parents proud, and that plays a big role in our depression, is if we're living up to the standards that we think our parents are setting for us. So I always wondered, am I doing the right things? Am I making them think so highly of me? And that plays a role if you feel highly about yourself. So that was another thing that I battled with. When I started making bad decisions growing up is something else that played a role in my depression. When we make bad decisions, we don't always think about it at the time, about how it's going to affect us. But when you sit back and you look on it, it starts kind of weighing in on your shoulders, starts kind of weighing in on you. So when I started making these bad decisions, I started dwelling on them. I'd wake up and I'd be like, man, what am I doing with myself? What am I doing with my life? Am I this, that, or the other? And that had a big role in my depression. And then another thing was bottled in emotions. I'm not the type of person that likes to just speak openly and free, and a lot of people aren't. We don't like to speak openly about our lives. We don't like to speak openly about the decisions we're making, the bad choices we're making. And so when we start bottling these emotions, it's kind of hard to learn how to deal with them. You're sitting there trying to fight it with inside yourself, and a lot of times that's not good. Most of the time it's not good. A lot of times we can't do it on our own. I know for a fact I couldn't. I can't sit here and bottle in my emotions and think that I'm going to get through everything the way I should be getting through them. It never worked out so well with me. Another thing that I did, and I still do, I'm such a selfless person. I would do anything for anybody. I live a selfless life, that's just me. But I always tried to please everybody. I always tried to fit in, try to do different things, get different clothes, do different sports, do all these different things to try and please people. But at the end of the day, when I come home behind closed doors, I'm not really fitting in. I'm just getting along. I'm just kind of coasting through. And that played a big thing with me in my depression, was trying to please everybody, but not really reflecting on myself. Always wanting attention, you know what I mean? Like, you just feel like you need that attention. You need that boost. You need somebody to tell you, like, oh man, you're cool, you're popular, you're this, that, you're the other, because you don't really get that. So you don't really know how you feel. In your head, you're trapped. That's the big thing, is that we get trapped in our minds of whether we're these people that other people look up to. I know for a long time, in a lot of ways, I wasn't. I know for a long time, I wasn't a good person. I did a lot of dumb things. I still probably do. And that's just, a part of life. That's part of living and learning and growing up. Wanting attention. Even till this day, I still battle with depression. Last year, I went through some of the biggest losses, some of the biggest eye-openers that you could ever think of. I'm not going to talk about too much of that right now, but I lost a lot last year. I lost a great job where I work with kids in the community. I lost a lot of respect. I lost two little boys that meant the world to me, still do. Every night I go to bed, I pray for them. That right there ultimately kills me inside. But you're not alone means so much more than just all of us coming together. To me, it meant God being with me. And God got me through the hardest time of my life last year. God gets me through each and every day. God put me out here to talk to you, to try and spread this word, to try and uplift people, to let you know that you're not alone, that you can reach out and talk to people. Someone like me has been through so much that I can try and help you understand. I can try and be there for you. I can do as much as I possibly can to make you realize that ultimately life's problems are temporary. Everything that we battle is going to be temporary. I still have a hard time dealing with it. I still struggle with it every single day. Every day I wake up full of regrets, full of depression in a lot of ways, but I learn to deal with it. I have a lot of positive things going for me because I put myself out there to try and do them. That's what we have to do, is we have to swallow our egos, swallow this, and we have to go and talk to people. We have to kind of find our ways in life to do things. I'm hoping I'm following the right path by starting this program, by starting this outreach program to get into, it's a broad spectrum of everybody. I want everybody to be involved, but my main focus is our youth, because that's what's coming up, and that's what our biggest problems are, is with our youth. You see these kids doing drugs now, that are using needles and stuff like that. When I was in school, like, some people did some pills and smoked some weed, and that was pretty much it. We drank a bunch of beer. Now you see kids that are ODing and, like, having Narcan parties. Like, what the hell is that? That's something that's got to stop. And a lot of the times it's kids going through depression that they don't even realize it. They don't want to accept it. So bringing it out and talking about it is something that we have to do, and that's something that I want to do. I'm not going to be the type of person that comes to you and talks to you like we always had when we were in high school, that comes in and talks about drugs and talks to you like this, that, and the other. I want to be uplifting. If anybody knows me, I am goofy, I'm crazy, I'm uplifting. I want to get people involved. That's the biggest thing, is getting everybody involved to what we're trying to do. Depression is something that's so big. Depression and suicide and drugs. Suicide plays a big role in everything. Suicide is going to be my topic next week, and that played a big role in my life because I went through that, and I've lost people through that, and that's something that's huge to me, and that plays something that's really big in depression. My goal is to get into these high schools and these junior highs and these churches and these youth programs to let people know that they're not alone through any of this. That it's okay to raise your hand and say, like, yes, I'm going through this. It's okay to do these things. Because when you bottle them up and you make these bad decisions, then you're stuck. And that's the worst feeling of all, because trust me, I was stuck. I was stuck for 7 months out of my life last year. Stuck dwelling on things alone. It's the worst feeling you could possibly have. That is the point in what I'm trying to do, to get out to everybody, is that we're not alone through any of these things, and together we can make a stand. Whether we're going through depression, I'm still going through depression. I go through depression every single day. And I know many of you do. So let's raise our hands, let's put our minds together, and let's see if we can't make an impact. See if we can't change one person at a time. Next week will be about suicide. I thank you guys for listening in. Hopefully we'll be on schedule next week with everything, as long as nobody else takes a spill. He's got another kid that was just born, so hopefully he doesn't fall. But I thank you guys. Please like and share. And let's see if we can't put our heads together and see if we can't accomplish something. Thanks, guys.